Bye. Bye-bye. So we're going to move back to Anne if she's still there. I need some help from the technicians. Anne is there, correct?
Do I talk to you or do I talk to the next person?
The next person's going to come up. I'm not quite certain who it is. I don't have the schedule in front of me. Do you know who it's to be? Let's see.
Simon. I'm afraid I don't know the last name. He was new to me. Oh.
Is Simon there? There are 20 minutes left in the show, apparently. We're going until about 9:35 on the East Coast. If Simon is here, there's Simon, and you have the last 20 minutes. So take it away.
Guys, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. We have a statement from Christine Assange that Vivian is going to jump on and read. So I just want to explain about the timing. Our YouTube stream cuts at 11 hours and 45 minutes exactly, and we can't do anything about it. It's a function of YouTube. They will just like shut the stream off on us, and unfortunately we can't extend it in any way. So we have only a short time. I would love for maybe you guys to have a group discussion for a short time, but Joe or the tech team, can you please add Vivian to the stream because she has the statement from Christine, and maybe we can close with that after a short discussion.
That's fine. Fine with me. There's Vivian.
Fine with me.
Fine with me.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I think what Susie suggested is like a 15-minute closing discussion, and then you'll read the statement from Christine Assange, from Julian's mother.
Okay.
How's that?
Okay.
All four of you are now tiled on the screen. So you're all in a single view. So go for it, guys. You've got about 24 minutes maximum.
Okay, and if you want to start asking Simon some questions, I'm just going to listen.
Well, there's something else I'd like to say, assuming that Daniel Ellsberg is still watching this.
Dan is gone, I think.
Okay, no, but he might be watching at home. No, he might not be in our conversation.
Sure, okay.
But yeah. Okay, so assuming he's watching, I would like him to help us, join us in this effort to get KPFA, the KPFA Local Station Board, and the Pacifica National Board to pass resolutions in support of Julian Assange. Okay, now.
Well, he's a Berkeley resident, so he might.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he said that he was shocked by what I said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Hear me. No.
Let's see.
Hello?
I'm trying.
Daniel's back.
Anyway, I'll just say, yeah, I'll be glad to raise that question with KPFA. I certainly feel that they absolutely should support Julian's asylum and oppose any prosecution of Julian Assange.
Oh, that's wonderful. I think that will make it much easier. Now, Simon, since you're from Australia, it's Simon, is that right? Okay. Since you're from Australia, I want to bring up what I think is a pending humanitarian intervention, quote, in Myanmar. And one thing that the WikiLeaks revealed about Libya and Syria is what a farce, what a charade this was. Most of us knew it was a charade. It's been a charade for a long time, but the evidence was right there about what destroying the Libyan government, what government was really about, and what the intervention in Syria is really about. The reason I think that a humanitarian intervention is imminent in Myanmar is because the reports about the suffering of the Rohingya have been escalating to where we're hearing them from all directions. We hear about them on KPFA every day. And I don't doubt that the Rohingya are really suffering. But you have to ask yourself, when was the last time the U.S. intervened on behalf of the people? This is something that John Baraka said. And the answer is never. Now, I've talked for a long time, but the reason I was asking you about this is because I've seen some of these security institutes, including some in Australia, saying that Australia should take the lead in this. And, very cynically saying that they should, because they should assert themselves on the world stage.
Oh, great. By the way, I'm not sure you guys can hear me. Can I have some confirmation?
I hear you.
Okay, great. Yes. Well, unfortunately, mainstream media seems to have do its best to keep us all in the dark about imperial adventures overseas. Only letting us know some information, usually false information, when it's time to send some missiles into Syria, for instance. So I have to confess, I haven't been aware of the situation in Myanmar. I'm not surprised that there's this rhetoric that Australia should take the lead and so on, because it goes back to the Iraq War. The same thing happened there, that there was mass protests all around the world, and to try to get some legitimacy to the idea of invading Iraq, there was this notion of a coalition of the willing. And the idea was to get as many as possible token national people on your team, nations on your team, to go and invade Iraq. And that was some sort of offset to the fact that the UN wasn't buying the war. And the same thing is going on. It's like, if Australia is doing something, if Australia thinks something, then it's not just the empire. It's not just, it's all these other countries think that, yeah, it's a very important thing to be doing some humanitarian intervention, because that's what it's always sold as. And like you said, it's never what it is. So I think you're entirely right about Libya and Syria. And I made the point in the last vigil that the situation with the media is so bad that the only journalists on the ground in places like Syria, or at least the vast majority of them, the information that they're giving out is in total contradiction to what the mainstream narrative is. And I was sad at the time I didn't have any names to offer, but I recall now Eva Bartlett was one of the main journalists in that case, and also Carlo Ortiz and Rania Kale. As I said, I don't know much about Myanmar, but please, what were you going to say?
Oh, I just said Vanessa Beeley. Vanessa Beeley was another journalist telling us the truth about Syria.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure what else to add to that. I think it speaks for itself. Like
Simon.
Yeah.
Simon, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just saw a little message from Susie saying the time has come. So may I just interrupt you and read
absolutely.
Christine's?
Yeah.
Okay. So Susie emailed this to me. It's the official statement from Christine Assange. And I quote, Julian once said that if there was unity in oppression, there must be absolute unity in the resistance to that oppression. The unity for J Global Citizens Movement to resist the brutal political persecution of my son for his courageous, multi-award-winning journalism absolutely embodies and champions this practical principle. Throughout history, citizens have put aside their other differences to unite against the abuses of power. I am in absolute awe of the integrity, truth, and courage emanating from the Unity for J movement. The diversity and quality of the speakers at the Marathon Monthly Unity for J online vigil is phenomenal and a journalistic feast in itself. Congratulations and gratitude to all the participants, organizers, interviewers, speakers, tech crew, artists, and live tweeters. Christine Assange. So, exactly. So I think over to you, Joe. If our time's up.